Welcome to Ampedcast, where we bring together the worlds of electronic dance music and storytelling. Get to know industry leaders and talent on the rise as we sit down with them to share their artist journey from behind the decks. Our community is one for artists and music lovers alike, so settle in and enjoy the experience. Welcome to Ampedcast. Today we are working with Method 3 to bring you another great episode with our dear friend Cartfish. Carter over here is with us today. He's a DJ and is doing some incredible things in the scene. So Cartfish, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's
good,
a beautiful Saturday morning.
Excited to be in Austin.
Yes. How has it been? Is this your first time here or have you been to Austin a few times?
So I was actually in Austin earlier this year in January.
Okay.
But it was really quick. It was like 2 days. We were filming for YouTube and it was in the 40s. So the city was kind of like sleepy.
Yeah.
So yes and no. It's very different. The city is very busy right now with the festival going on, ACL. So this is kind of like my first time here seeing the city alive.
That's amazing. And what do you think of Austin in a lively state?
Yeah, no, it's very lively right now. I love it. I'm here with my fiance, Alex, so I might use the term we. We love it so far. We've done a lot, and we've been here for only 2 days. We scootered around the entire city yesterday and got to see a lot of the actual city. But yeah, it's been awesome. It is very busy, but we really like Austin.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
And it was so fun to see you play last night at If You Know, You Know. So it was fun to get to know you through your music.
Yeah, it was a great time. Thank you.
Yes. And I kind of want to dive in because your name is very unique. Cartfish. I was like, because your name's Carter, I was like, Cartfish. So fish, where does the fish come from?
Yeah, so... And before I get into that, a lot of people think it's catfish and it's cartfish.
Yeah, I've said that.
Yeah, a lot of people. So it's cartfish. So my name is Carter. My nickname growing up was Fish because I grew up in a small town called Bethany Beach in Delaware by the ocean. I was a swimmer. I fished a bit. I surfed. I dove. I still do all of those things, just not as frequently being an adult with responsibilities. I can't. But that's kind of where the nickname Fish comes from. And I swam competitively throughout college, as well as I surfed on our surf team. So I think one day someone just used the combination of Carter and Fish and called me Cartfish. And I was like, I really like that. It kind of rolls off the tongue really easily. So that's where the nickname Cartfish came from. It's been my social media handles, and now it's kind of transferred into my artist name.
I like it. And what was your stroke? And what was your favorite stroke?
Yeah, so I actually did the individual medley. So that's butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle. So it was all the strokes, but aside from that, I was a sprinter in freestyle. So like 50 and 100 free. So yeah,
That's incredible.
It was, swimming is very taxing. Like it's a very hard sport. I'm surprised that I made it through college. But yeah, it was a good time. I'm glad that I did it. I have like a shoulder injury from it, but it was worth it.
Well, that's really cool that you were, into sports and you're very athletic and you were surfing. And so how do you still surf at all or do you?
Yeah. So I live in Fort Lauderdale right now, South Florida. There's not too much surf there. Just a quick lesson. The Bahamas block a lot of the swell that comes into South Florida. So I don't surf as much. When I surf, it's usually in Central America. So like Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Puerto Rico. I've traveled there quite a bit. So yes, I do, but not as much as I would like to.
Yeah. I hear like people who love water really love water. It's like made for you.
Yeah, it was my life growing up. Like I would skip school to go surf or whatever. But yeah, definitely a water baby, like 100%.
Very cool. Well, I'd like to dive in and, talk a little bit about like what you're building online. You have an incredible presence online. I love watching your videos. The one with the squeaky bed the other day that you liked.
Well, that was like, yeah.
So share a little bit about that with the audience. The
yeah, you're probably like, what are you talking about? So the squeaky bed, we were staying in a hotel in Miami and we woke up to the sound of, I thought it was a dog scratching the floor above us because it was a dog friendly hotel, but it wasn't. It was people getting it on at like 7 a.m. in the morning. And there was, if you watch the video, you can hear the squeaks. It was so loud. I recorded it and you can just hear whatever was going on above us. So that is the squeaky bed reference. And that was one of those videos that was very organic. A lot of our videos are planned, and like skits or whatever, that was an organic video that was happening in real time. So that's probably what it was, just like really funny and organic. It's like, wow, that actually happened. So that's a squeaky bed reference. Yeah.
I love how you put it into a song.
Yeah.
Like, that was the coolest part. Like, you put it into a song and it was like,
Yeah. Yeah. And just for reference, just for the viewers, I do social media as well as my fiance. We've kind of grown our following over the last 3-4 years or so. So we just, as you know, make videos kind of every day on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And yes, I converted the squeaky sound into a song. Ridiculous.
It was so funny. And I would like to dive in a little deeper about the following you've built and your Instagram and the social media. How did you and your partner get into that?
Yeah, so just some background on myself. I was a recruiter for 4 years after college. And then around COVID, I met Alex, my fiance, and naturally we were home, bored. TikTok was kind of like popping up. So we started posting like silly, kind of cringy, but relatable couples videos and photos on our separate accounts. And then at one point we were like, we weren't arguing about who was going to post the video, but when we were making so much content together, I was like, how do we decipher who's going to post what? So naturally we made a couples account where we just had a joint account and continued posting. And I guess our content, you know, it is silly and lighthearted, but a lot of it is relevant and relatable. And we try to give meaning to our content when we can, specifically within the LGBTQ plus community. But yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And naturally, we've just grown a following. And that's where we are. So, yeah.
I dig it. It's so fun to see that. And, you know, as someone, you know, you're in music as well as doing influencing online. What is your biggest like tip to grow your following?
Yeah, good question. So with growing a following, I would say the main thing is to be consistent, which sounds so cliche, right? Consistency is key. But another thing is like being organic, kind of like I just mentioned with the squeaky bed reference. It was an organic video. It wasn't so planned and robotic. And I think that's something that a lot of people that are trying to grow their following think is the right thing to do. They're like, okay, I have to be like this creator or like this creator instead of just being who I am. And a lot of people can tell through the screen when you're trying to, you know, put on a facade or be something you're not. That's why a lot of my content personally, I'm at a point where I'm very goofy online. I don't try to be like this perfect person, and that is relatable and relevant. Like no one's perfect. And I think those days of like influencers or creators or people in the spotlight that are like this perfect person, that's just not what's resonating with people today. So being organic, being original and consistent.
Definitely. And that really trickles into your music too. Can you share a bit about how, if it's has that influenced your music, like how you do your music, like especially when it comes to being authentic? Yeah,
for sure. So as far as music goes, as you know, I got into it over the last year. And whether it's putting a set together or producing my own music, I really try to stay true to what I want to put out. So when I'm doing a set, it can be kind of easy to have someone come up and be like, hey, can you put on this or put on that? And a lot of times, if it's the right circumstance, yes, I'll play what someone else wants to hear. But I try to do what my vibe is and my style is. So that's kind of transferred for sure into music and producing music. Yeah, just kind of sticking to my guns with what I want to play. Given if it's completely not the vibe of wherever I'm playing, I'll obviously adapt, because that's part of being an artist and a DJ is reading the room, reading the crowd. But when I can, I try to kind of stick to my guns, like what I want my brand to be as far as music goes.
100%. I agree with you there, because it's just like the influencer work. It's like you want to stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
And so what are some of your biggest influences in terms of music that inspire your work?
Yeah, so definitely Rufus to Soul. That is my favorite artist. I've seen them multiple times. Rufus is a great group. There's a few like similar style groups. One is called Crooked Colors, based in Australia, if you haven't checked them out.
Ooh.
And if you like Rufus, it's very that like similar vibe where it's not DJing. It's more of like a live performance, but it's
Yes.
still got that electronic. I like Elderbrook. We might go see tonight. So definitely that like melodic house type of style.
Mhm.
Then as far as the harder kind of tech house stuff, definitely Chris Lake, Fisher. I recently found a few new artists in Miami, Leila Benitez. There's a whole list, but those are like my top, I guess you could say like mainstream folks. Love John Summit and Dom Dolla, but it's just like I hear so much of that nowadays, kind of like Taylor Swift, where I'm like, it's really good, but I'm just like fed it nonstop. So nothing against John Summit.
Love you, John Summit. We love you. That is so cool though too, and I love Rufus. I'm a huge Rufus fan, and Cream and like all that kind of stuff. Cream is another one. That actually reminds me of a story when I was at EDC on the cruise liner, like the first cruise liner EDC.
Yeah, EDC like SEA.
Yes, like SEA. That go like this because we were on the ocean. That you might actually love that because you love water.
I've looked into it. I just haven't gotten the chance to do it. There's a few of them. There's a few like cruise festivals.
Yes.
Just haven't. I've never been on a cruise actually. Fun fact.
It was my first time on a cruise, and Cream did a sunrise set on like outdoor, like there. It was like the back of the boat.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous, and I thought that like I immediately thought of that when you mentioned like Rufus and water. I was like, you might need to do it. You need to do a cruise liner.
It's on our list. It's on my list. That and Burning Man are two things that I have yet to do that I'm gonna do.
I need to do Burning Man too. That's on my list as well. It's a good one.
So I've heard. Yeah. It's.
Well, you're getting into music. You're growing. You are taking it. How far do you want to take it this year? Are you going full-time music, or do you want it to be a part-time thing?
Yeah, I was actually talking to Evan about this last night, or I mentioned it. I am at that point where I'm kind of, I guess the term crossroads is correct. I am obviously still very present and busy with the social media aspect of my life. That's our main income, is doing advertising on our channels. But the DJing and music production is taking up a lot of my time. If you've ever messed with music production, or if any of you guys have, you know that it is very time consuming. I'll sit there for like what I think is 2 hours and it's actually 6 hours.
Yep.
But yeah, I am figuring out what I really want to do and like what my goals are with DJing and music production. I would obviously love to skip all of the grunt work and be playing these big shows and at festivals. Like that's everyone's dream, of course. But I'm definitely still at that point where I'm doing like the gigs that are fun, but maybe not everyone wants to do. And that's just part of the process for sure. But yeah, I guess long-term goals, I would love to have a good discography of music and have that sound that's like unique to me, which I'm still figuring out. And yeah, I mean, just keep playing shows. If it got to a point where it was my full-time job, that'd be amazing. But as of now, it's still very much like a side thing. Income wise, it's taking up a lot of my time, which is good because with what I do, I have that luxury of having time and making my own schedule and whatnot. But yeah, that's kind of like my goal. Still figuring it out, but I definitely want to take it further.
Oh, I like that. There's like somebody explained when you're kind of have two things you're working on. It's almost like you sunrise and sunset the things that you're working on. Like you can kind of ebb and flow them as one takes off or one subsides, or you find passion in one more than the other for a time. But that theme really helped me to like navigate. It's okay to have multiple things, and it's encouraging because you can use your skill sets in new ways, but you can always like ebb and flow between the two.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think with the social media aspect of things, with producing music, DJing, you also have to be involved in social media. Like there's no way around it. It is what it is. It's 2024, almost 2025, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
But yeah, you have to kind of put the two hands in hand, which is a pro and a con in my situation because I did already have a following, right? And I was like, okay, I'm going to get into music. And a lot of people see that online. They're like, oh, another, person with a following that's going to become a DJ or do whatever. Which, yes, I totally get that, but I'm trying my best to like cross the two over it without just randomly one day waking up and being like, oh, I'm going to be a DJ now. I think they call them like influencer DJs, which that's me, I guess. I totally get the term. But that's something too I'm trying to kind of navigate is kind of putting the two and two together in like a way that I want to. So.
Definitely. That makes a lot of sense, especially as you're growing in both and like creating that persona that's authentic to you, that speaks to your audience.
Yeah, because a lot of people know me as this goofy guy that is with Alex doing these videos, and I'm trying to keep that while also introducing this other aspect of my life that I'm very passionate about. So
well, it's incredible. And I see it in your work. I see it online, especially with like the fun videos that you're bringing music into. I think you're doing a beautiful job of weaving it together. So that's kudos.
Thank you.
I guess my big question I like to ask at this on this podcast is, what is most inspiring to you today?
Like music wise, or
as a creator?
As a creator?
Yeah.
So inspiration, aside from the artists that I'm inspired by, like I mentioned, the Rufus and all those guys and girls. As far as like creator inspiration wise, going back to the originality thing, and the like content with meaning and purpose, I think inspiration comes a lot from that. So to kind of sum that up, putting out content and creating content that blends all of the things that I've talked about. So having purpose, being relatable, combining the persona that I've built over the last few years with this new music path. So just looking at people that have done that and kind of been able to blend all of the things together in a nice seamless way is really inspiring. And that's what I aspire to be, someone that can blend everything together while maybe inspiring other folks as well. So that's kind of like a long-winded answer, but I think the combination of those aspects put into one and putting out content that isn't just, hey, I made a song, go listen to it, or hey, I made this funny video, go watch it. Maybe a piece of content that is a funny, relatable video with a piece of content or with a piece of music that's also something that has meaning and purpose. So
definitely. I think there's some secret sauce there. That was, I think, a golden nugget for other artists who are struggling with their social media, how to share their music in an authentic way. So I think that's a really good tip.
I'm still very much figuring that out. And trial and error is another thing, going back to like, whether it's music or content or whatever, like trial and error is part of the process, like it is in life.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm kind of getting a grip on like what I'm happy with putting out, blending the things, but I'm still figuring it out as well. But yeah, secret sauce, currently in the process of making it.
Keep going. That's the secret sauce. Well, this has been such a great conversation. Before we get to our headliner hot seat, I would love to get folks plugged into you, who you are. How can people find you online?
Yep. So many accounts, because we have my accounts, my fiance's account, our joint accounts, but me personally, so all of my handles are under the username Cartfish, not catfish. It's Cartfish with an R. So CartFish, Cartfish, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And then if you go there, you can find our joint couples account and all that stuff. But my personal stuff, Cartfish, Spotify, SoundCloud, Instagram, TikTok. So.
Oh, thank you so much. And now we're going to get into our headliner hot seat.
What is this camera?
Oh my goodness. I guess it's a takeover. So, Evan, you want to do the headliner hot seat?
Give it to me.
All right.
Give me this mic.
What's
Hello.
up?
Good morning.
Let me get some water real quick. Good morning.
Good morning. I have every question in the world, but I can only think of maybe one right now.
Okay.
What is on your mind?
What is on my mind? Well, I got like 4 hours of sleep last night, so thinking about sleep. No, just kidding. I had some coffee. I'm just really happy to be here. Happy to finally meet you and Kay. We've been connected on social media for a bit, and it's just surreal meeting people in person, as I'm sure you can feel as well. But yeah, obviously coming from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, being in Austin, Texas is really cool. But I guess the main thing is on my mind is just being grateful to meet you guys and chat with you guys. So
yeah. Well, I'm so happy that we like finally got to meet and everything. It's been a journey. I just can't like last night, because I asked you, is like, how long have we been connected? I'm like, only a year.
Well, I think we've been connected or following for longer, but at least chatting.
Yeah.
For just like a year.
That's cool. It's inspiring to see like all the growth that you've like just from an outside perspective of like where you started and where like you're heading. And I just think that's really cool. Just like you started from like ground zero and then you went to an academy, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Wired Sound Academy in Fort Lauderdale. I did that DJ course. So they have a level 1 and level 2 DJ course, and they have level 1, level 2 production. My production course has been YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. But yeah, I did that course earlier this year, like February, March, and then since then just kind of been working my way up, I guess you could say, around, and yeah, that's kind of how it started.
That's awesome. What is if you have a sample pack that you use today, like that you're just like, I'm always in this one, what would you?
I got Splice, Tool Room. I mean, Tool Room has so many different sample packs, or at least from what I've seen. But yeah, there's a few. I don't know the exact like version, but Tool Room has really good sample packs. Definitely Tool Room.
That's awesome. I'm like sitting in so many different ones lately. I'm like right now I'm in Rogers. Do you know who Rogers is?
I don't think
it's more like a progressive.
Yeah, no.
So.
Yeah, your Splice, is that the platform they use for sample packs, or just
yeah,
whatever?
he has that too. So
yeah, there's too many. It's very overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
But yeah,
what is like if you were to go out today and you were like, okay, I want to create this. I don't know what I'm doing. What's like the first thing you go, okay, I'm gonna try this.
Create like in what aspect? Like music?
Music, content creation, either one.
I guess we can talk about music. So like creating a track, because I've gotten into that. I'm obviously still very new to it. But I always try to make something. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make like a straight Afro house track, and it always ends up being more techie then. So try that again, Afro house. But yeah, whatever I try to make, so like it always ends up being a little bit more tech than I want, which is fine. I love tech house and techno. But that's something I would say content-wise related to music and Afro house, like track, and stick to that, which for some reason is so hard for me.
Is your advice coffee to stay awake?
Iced coffee?
Oh no, what keeps you awake?
Oh, Vice?
Like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, iced coffee. I am, yeah, iced coffee. I'll keep it there. There's so many things.
Oh my God. Okay, that's awesome.
What about you?
For me?
Yeah.
Shoot, just this industry.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Keeps me awake. For me, it's a shot of espresso in the morning, and from down the street, and I'm just like, all right, here we go. And then I bounce around like a cat.
Yeah, I feel like you have a lot of like natural energy. I mean, I don't. It seems that way.
You ask Kay, she'll know.
I said it seems like he has a lot of natural energy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yes. Do you have a lot of energy? Your videos seem like you do.
Yeah, well, again, social media, while we do portray an accurate description of our life, of course, I'm not going to put up a video where I'm like sleeping, even though there are people that have followers from like videos of them sleeping. Very weird. But no, I have to be energetic on social media, because if not, people are just going to scroll to the next person. So while that is the case on social media, I'd say it's like, as far as energy wise, if we're getting on that topic, very much like a night person, but I'm trying to become more of a morning person, because that's the person I want to be. Oh,
I've been in the industry for so long. The morning, like, yeah. I'm awake at 11 o'clock.
Okay, that's pretty bad.
Oh, right.
But if you're working till like 4 every night, that is very much acceptable. So you're good.
That's awesome. Yeah, true. What is trying to think of one more question. I have one.
Do you have it written down?
No. The weather between here and Austin. What's your
weather?
Yeah.
Well, right now it's pretty hot in Austin. I keep wiping my face. But the humidity here. I don't know if you've been to Florida. Have you?
I have not.
Okay. Well,
no, not in a long time. I did. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's so random.
Very random.
But no, weather-wise, Austin. That's, again, part of the reason why we're considering moving for part of the year, is because we miss the seasons, even if they are relatively mild. Florida, like, does not have seasons. And the humidity, is ass. Like it's just so hot all the time. Like yesterday we were walking around Austin and scooting around the city, and I think it read like 90 degrees or something, and we weren't sweating, given there was like a breeze, but I looked at my phone and it was like 30% humidity, whereas yesterday in Fort Lauderdale was 80% humidity. Just kind of off topic, but I guess that's on topic with weather related, but it's Austin for sure, even though we don't really live here. I just look at it sometimes when I'm in Florida, especially in like the fall, and I'm like, oh,
You're like, it looks,
that would be nice.
It looks nice.
Yeah, like dying of heat in Fort Lauderdale, but pros and cons.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm out of questions.
That's okay.
Yeah, this is my takeover for a second.
Thank you, Evan.
Oh, well, Carter, it has been such a great time having a conversation with you and sharing just like where you're at, what you're working on, and the inspiration to help other artists as well on their journey. So thank you so much for being on Ampedcast today.
Thank you so much. Like I was saying earlier, it's been a pleasure to chat with you guys, a little unexpected surprise to hop on here. So thank you so much. And I'm super happy that we all finally got to meet in person and take it from social media to real life. So thank you.
Yes, definitely. And if you like episodes like this and conversations with artists, definitely like and subscribe to our channel and check out the incredible conversations that we share. Thanks again.
Bye.